Hi friends, I trust you're doing great. My name is Joyce and I am going to talk to you guys about resetting in the new year. So happy new year to you. I had taken a break but I'm back again now, and what better way to start than to just talk about those New Year's resolutions that some of us might have made and how to start the new year right. So my name is Joyce and I'm the face behind this channel. I'm a physician associate by profession, and I hope in this channel you will learn more about just positive health changes, and also learning about the different conditions and symptoms that you might have or should not be concerned about. So if that is content that you're interested in, then please stay with me, okay? So today we're going to talk about starting the year right. I know about just positive health changes, and also learning about the different conditions and symptoms that you might have or should not be concerned about. So if that is content that you're interested in, then please stay with me, okay? So today we're going to talk about starting the year right. I know being a new year, we all have set some kind of resolutions. Some of them we might not have mentioned them, but we have mentally tried to reset. So I thought, why not talk about what we can do to help ourselves in resetting, okay? So I'm going to talk to you about a few points. So the first one is set clear health goals. So most people will say, okay, I want to start the year right, I want to set new health goals, and then we dive in there. So let's talk about how best to do that so that it can be sustainable, okay? So set clear health goals. What does it mean? So instead of saying, okay, I want to lose 10 kgs in a month, let's set realistic goals that will actually be achievable. So there are actually some apps out there that can actually help us to do that, to track our weight changes. And also let's bear in mind that it takes about a month to actually be consistent with a new habit. So it takes about a month to be doing a new habit before you can actually be consistent to do that habit. So if we set clear health goals, so we want to be realistic with those, but we also want to sustain those throughout the year and throughout the more years to come in our lives. So I suggest setting a health target that is realistic for you, depending on what weight you are currently, and also deciding on how you are going to hit that target, okay? So there's no point in setting a goal if you are then not going to do anything with regards to achieving that goal, okay? So you can start by, okay, so let's say we're resetting our health goals, okay? So we talk about, okay, how am I going to change my health habits? How am I going to start eating right? And it's very important to educate yourself with regards to diet and things like that that would work for you. And let's not compare ourselves to others, okay? There are so many variables that contribute to the weight we are, and also that contribute to how quickly or how effective our weight loss is. So let's not compare ourselves to others. It's good to be motivated, but let's not beat ourselves up by comparing ourselves to others and wanting our health goals to go as quickly as maybe someone else's health goals are going. So let's be individual. Let's look at our diet. Let's look at moving more. Those are the two main components with regards to weight loss: moving more and how you eat. Okay, So have some short-term goals. So when you're having these health goals, make sure you have short-term and long-term goals. So you have short-term goals for, let's say, I want to go to the gym 3 times a week. Okay, that's a short-term goal. And then ultimately at the end of the month, I want to maybe start more classes at the gym, or to join a class at the gym, as well as my own gym session. Okay, so you are sort of dividing those things into very small chunks that are manageable, as opposed to just saying I want to lose 20 kgs in a year. You need to break that up into months or into weeks, so that it's easier to then be able to achieve those goals ultimately. Okay, so the other thing is, number 2, evaluate your lifestyle. So it's very good to start the year right by evaluating your lifestyle. I know that maybe some of us would have fallen off the bandwagon through 2023, but that is all forgotten. We can leave that in 2023 and start afresh. That's the good thing with a new year, that you can start afresh. Okay, it's a clean slate. So evaluate your lifestyle. So yes, we talked about nutrition earlier, but let's also talk about exercise. Let's talk about sleep. The other thing that we don't realize that is very important in terms of our weight loss goals is sleep. Let's bear that in mind. So sleep is very, very important in achieving those goals as well. So let's track our sleep. Let's try and sleep earlier. Generally, you get more from sleeping, especially from between 9 and 5. So 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Those hours of rest are the most important. So if we can try, I know it's very difficult. We've got busy lifestyles. I understand that. But it's good to know that, so that we can try and keep to that if we want to actually reach our health goals. Okay, the other thing is stress management. So stress is a very big one with regards to evaluating our lifestyle. So it might mean removing ourselves from situations that might trigger our stress levels. If it means some relationships but that also increase our stress levels, we need to evaluate those, and also set some boundaries if needed, so that we can reduce our stress levels. Because your stress levels don't only affect your weight, but they also affect your health overall in terms of your blood pressure and other things as well. And also you can end up in other mental health situations like depression because of that stress. So we need to definitely address that and see how we can help ourselves with regards to that. So it might mean maybe starting new yoga session. It might mean maybe starting meditation. Anything that helps you to release that stress is welcome. Okay, so nothing is out of bounds in terms of trying to just navigate through this year and reducing our stress levels. So as I'm a physician associate, I'm going to go on to point number 3. So point number 3 is having regular health checkups. So it's very important, if you are having some symptoms or some health concerns, to please see your doctor. It's very, very important. I know males in general are culprit to this, where they have these symptoms, they've had them for years, and they don't come and see the GP. So please, 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 if you have some health concerns, go and check them out. If you're feeling tired, go and talk to your doctor. Make sure that you have a blood test done, things like that, so that we keep our health to the optimum, because we want to keep our health to its absolute best for us to be able to do all the things that we want to do in life. So adjusting our diet. So we need to really now start looking at, so this is point number 4. Adjusting your diet is very, very important in terms of going forward. Yes, we might have fallen off the bandwagon in 2023, but guess what? You've got another chance to make things right. So let's look at our diet instead of just mourning about how you've gained weight and you don't know what to do. Let's look at what can I actually do in terms of my diet. Am I really not, is there nothing that I can change in my diet? Could I maybe not have all those snacks that I don't need in my car, or snacks on my desk at work and things like that? Or could I switch the chocolate for a fruit instead? Could I switch the chocolate for an apple, for example? So I'm not saying don't eat anything, but just evaluating and looking at small changes that you can make that would make a very big change overall. Okay? Now, point number 5, physical activity. Physical activity, I touched on that, but it's very important that when we're talking physical activity, I'm not talking about going to the gym, right? So not everyone has the time or the finances to go to the gym, but you can go for a walk. Going for a walk is free, okay? So you can do that. You can do some exercises on YouTube. There are so many different websites as well that offer free workouts. And there's people on Instagram as well that have some really nice videos in terms of working out. If you're someone maybe who is into other types of working out, for example, aerobics, so you can do that. So find something that you like. That's the other thing. Don't do something that other people like, but do something that you like. Why am I saying this? Because if you like this thing, you are likely to be more consistent doing it than if you just do what your friend is doing. For example, I personally like, if I'm going to work out, I want to sweat. So I like cardio exercises. I like running. That's what I like. I'm not too keen on yoga and those kinds of things, but someone else might like that. So ultimately, and let's remember, working out also helps with your mental health, because you release those endorphins, which are actually the feel-good hormones. So that's why when you've gone for a walk or when you've been to the gym, you feel happy. So that's the reason for it. So definitely exercising will help you in terms of your weight, but also your mental health. Okay, this actually drives me to the next point, which is your mental well-being. So let us look after our mental well-being. I touched on this earlier, but let's talk about mindfulness. So really being mindful about the situations you find yourself in, trying to avoid stressful situations. Also stuff like procrastination, that can play into it. So if you're someone who's procrastinating, you've got deadlines to meet and you're procrastinating and then ending up so stressed and besides yourself because you've got literally a day to do so many things. Let's try and just pace ourselves so that we are avoiding situations where we end up in a rush when we didn't really need to end up in a rush, because we knew this thing was coming up a month ago. So just being more organized would help as well with our mental health. And seeking support, this one is also a very big one. So with mental health, it's very important to make sure that if you know that your mood has changed, if you know that you're struggling with your mental health, find someone to talk to. It doesn't have to be a friend or someone you know. There is help out there. So I will actually leave some links to some of the organizations or places where you can seek help with regards to your mental health, because ultimately what's going on with you with regards to your mental health has a lot of impact in terms of your relationships, your personal friendships or family relations, but also it has a big impact also on your work. You end up not wanting to go to work, you end up having to be off work. If you realize that you're struggling with your mental health, or if you realize that your mood is dipping, please call for help sooner rather than later. The next thing is, when another point with regards to starting this new year, let us start monitoring our progress. So there are some really good apps for which will help you in terms of tracking your progress, whether it be to do with your workouts, whether it's to do with your food, your meals, your healthy meal intake and stuff like that. There are even apps with regards to calorie intake. I personally am not a calorie counter. I'm more of I'm more of the nutritional benefits of something as opposed to the calories within that item. Each to their own. So it's good to keep a journal. That's one thing. I was really amazed at work yesterday. I've got a patient who came in. We're trying to work on his weight. And he keeps a little diary. He writes, what he's eating for lunch, what he's eating for breakfast, dinner, any snacks he's had, and he just keeps track of those things. And in that way, you are then able to track where maybe you didn't do so well, so that next time you can correct it. It's always very, very important to monitor your progress in terms of that. And the other thing with monitoring progress, when you have reached a milestone, for example, you set a weight target and you've reached that milestone, celebrate the milestone. Do something, reward yourself. Make sure maybe, I don't know, you buy yourself something. Just make sure you recognize that milestone, because I think when you just pause for that moment and celebrate that, then you can get up and progress more. And we are humans. Feeling rewarded gives us that sense of good, that sense of having achieved something, and it actually helps us with our mental health as well. It actually motivates you when you've just hit a target, doesn't it? And you celebrate that. So let's make sure we just take time to just appreciate that. Okay, so create healthy habits. I've touched on this before, but that is point number 8. So for this new year, we're going to create healthy habits. So in all across the board. So I'm not only talking about our health habits, but also being consistent in what we're doing. So, if you're going to the gym, just making sure. And what you can do actually as an aside, what you can do to be more accountable, have an accountability partner. So maybe you go to the gym with your friend, or you don't even have to be going to the gym with your friend. You could just have a sister or a friend who doesn't go to the gym with you, who can just prod you if you haven't been to the gym, who can just give you a call and say, oh, have you been to the gym today? So that you just have that accountability. It's very important to have that, because sometimes it's very easy to just be like, oh, I'm tired, I can't be bothered today. But if you know that your sister or your friend or whoever is going to call you and ask you, and you can't lie, that would be enough reason for you to go to the gym and do the needful. Okay. Healthy habits also involve creating good routines as well. So it's important to have a routine. For example, if you're a morning person, maybe making sure that you go to the gym before you head out to work. That might work for you. It might not work for everyone. Some people may be going to the gym after work or in the evening makes more sense for them. But just have the routine. I don't care what the routine looks like, but as long as we have a routine, that's the point. And then to seek support, that is point number 9 in this year, seeking support. So obviously having an accountability partner, but the other thing that we can do is to join some groups or some classes. You can join a fitness class or a fitness group. So that is seeking support when needed. If you can afford, you can have a personal trainer. They can tailor your exercises based on what you want to accomplish. For example, some people just want to lose weight overall. Some people are slight built anyway, but they want to tone. So depending on what your goals are in terms of your health, you can then have a personal trainer who can then give you the exercises which are appropriate for what your health goal is. Okay. And last point, which is point number 10. Stay positive and be patient with yourself. I can't emphasize that enough. For example, I keep going back to the weight thing because it makes it much easier for me to illustrate what I mean. So stay positive. So it's not easy to stay positive, especially at the beginning of, like, if you're trying to lose weight, for example, it's not the easiest to stay positive, because you find when you initially start working out, it might actually take 3 to 4 weeks or even longer, depending on what types of workouts you're doing, before you see a change. So in that time, most of us, we love to just want to see a change very instantly, but that doesn't always happen. Definitely with weight loss, you might find that at the beginning you do plateau. It seems as though nothing is happening, but trust me, something is happening, and you will see that going on for maybe 4 weeks onwards, depending on what type of exercise and obviously how long you're doing the exercise for and what the intensity is. Okay, so all those things come into play. So be gracious to yourself, be patient with yourself, be positive. Okay. One thing we need to know is a journey of a mile starts with one step. Okay, so I hope you heard what I meant. So a journey of a mile starts with a one step. So just take one step forward. That's all you need to do. Just start. Okay, don't think about what's gonna happen, how is this gonna work. Just start, and then the rest will figure out later on. Okay, I do hope you have benefited from these things that I've discussed with you today with regards to just researching in terms of your health and your general well-being in this new year. And I do hope that this year will bring all your dreams. I hope that you will impact the world you're in. I hope you will just make the right calculated steps towards your goals, and I do hope that ultimately you will reach for the stars in terms of what you wish for in your life. I wish the best for you, and I just pray that you will enjoy this year. And if there was any negativity that was in 2023, which most of us possibly have had, let's just wipe the slate clean and start over, and just start on a positive note. And I will catch you on another video. So I'll catch you later. Take care. Bye.